Hey, here's a quick heads up that I'm working on a new video that's going to cover the crisis that's happening within the immigration courts. The Trump administration has systematically removed over 100 administrative judges, better known as immigration judges, which seems absurd when there is a massive escalation in the amount of cases that are being brought into the court systems. There's a huge backlog, and some of the estimates are that it's higher than 4 million in a backlog. And yet, the Trump administration is cutting the amount of judges. And here's the scary thing, though. These aren't tenured judges in the judiciary. These are judges that are basically the employees of the executive branch, which means the Department of Justice, which basically means they're Bondi's judges, and they serve really at the pleasure of Pam Bondi. Now, if you think about it, if she has a particular policy or the Trump administration has a particular policy, there are now reports that people are being pressured to just summarily dismiss things like asylum cases, which is just crazy. If anybody understands what that means, a person that has their life threatened in their country and leaves looking for a safe haven, for a place where they're not going to be killed, like in El Salvador or something like that. If you say the wrong thing, you can disappear, you can be killed. That's the reality. Asylum seekers are people seeking help and a refuge, often under fear of death. And yet what apparently is coming through, and I'm going to talk about this in detail when I do the full video, but several of the judges that have been terminated now, there were 17 of them recently, came out with scathing reports of high pressure to just summarily dismiss these cases without even looking at them, just to get the numbers through. All that the Trump administration cares about is the number of deportations. There's no quality involved. There's no compassion. There's no adjudication about the merits of each case or that we're dealing with people. Those numbers are people and potentially lives, because these people that are being sent back, their lives are in danger. Now, if they're not and the court adjudicates that way based on detailed evidence, okay, fine, let's do that. But there is due process to do that. And cutting over 100 judges is just crazy, especially when you have ICE going out there grabbing people with this crazy 3,000 people a day quota, which is insane. This is nuts. And to add fuel to the fire, the one big ugly bill, the one big beautiful bill, actually dramatically expanded the amount of funding for ICE, which means there's going to be more immigration expenditure, and particularly on ICE agents, which means more people randomly being detained, which could mean citizens. It has. They've been detaining illegally citizens. You're not supposed to do that. And lawful permanent residents, and valid visa holders, and students, and even tourists. It's insane. These people, if anybody understands the way the Constitution's written, anybody, any human being within the sphere of the United States, anyone, has the rights to due process. The Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, all of the relevant amendments, including the First Amendment for freedom of speech. All of these things are covered. So this is insane. So here's the picture. 4 million and growing backlog of cases. Even areas like Aurora in Colorado, they have shrunk it down to one judge. I'm going to go into this. Anyway, I wanted to let people know this is coming up. Please let me know if there are any specifics that you want covered. But basically understand this. The immigration judges are an administrative judge. They are employed by the Department of Justice, so they are not part of the judicial branch, and so they don't have tenure. So they can basically be fired at will. It's not quite that simple, but essentially, if you think of at-will employment, that's what it's kind of like. And what's happening is that the Trump administration is pressuring these judges to ignore all of the analysis they'd usually do and the proceedings that they would normally follow, particularly for things like asylum hearings. They want them to summarily dismiss them. It's outrageous. And all of this while they're bolstering and looking to dramatically increase the amount of ICE agents so more people are going to be flooding in. So the backlog is going to get even worse. This is insane. This goes against the spirit and intent of what was promised. And if the MAGA people are trying to argue this case that, oh, we don't want people jumping the queue, well, when you're smashing the queue and totally sabotaging the queue, that goes against that ridiculous argument because they're not interested in having a decent, reasonable pathway to citizenship anymore. This is sabotaging the paths to citizenship. That's what's happening. Anyway, look forward to hearing from people. Please let me know if there's any aspects of this that you want covered. But this is a killer. This is another one of these crazy contradictory things. The hypocrisy is just mind-blowing. Anyway, have a great day and look forward to seeing you in the video. Catch you then.